You're listening to the Domenick Nati Show. News, gossip, celebrity interviews with limited knowledge and accuracy in sports and politics. And now, your host, celebrity publicist, Domenick Nati.
That's right, it's Friday, and it is time for the Domenick Nati Show on Intellectual Radio in Chicago and iHeartRadio. Well, we got another good one for you today. Today's guest is Ira Peskowitz. Who is Ira Peskowitz? He is the father of Danielle Bregoli. Who is Danielle Bregoli? She is the Cash Me Outside girl. Now is this coming together? Cash Me Outside, how about that? Was on Dr. Phil a year ago. As you probably all know, her name is Danielle Bregoli, as you also know, and she just signed a record deal with Atlantic Records, and she is stayed in the press for a full year now after her Dr. Phil interview, and I got to speak with her father, Ira Peskowitz. He has also been in the news a lot. People have been talking to him. He is a police officer in South Florida, and he has been in some legal trouble with Cash Me Outside's mom, Mama Cash. TMZ often refers to Ira as Papa Cash, and he is in a lot of tabloids, so he called in the show, and we got it all straightened out. So, you may have already seen portions of this interview on Inquisitor and allhiphop.com and digitalmusicnews.com and some other places. It has been getting quite a bit of traction as of yesterday and Wednesday, if I recall. So in just a few minutes, we will be speaking with him. This is a very good interview. You get to hear a little bit about what this girl was like as a child. I don't think you'll be too shocked, but she has been in trouble all her life. And if you've ever wondered what is up with this girl's parents, you already know the mother, and the father gives us a lot of insight on how she was raised, what happened to her, and how their relationship is going now. And also, he spoke to me about a request he has for the people that leave rude comments to her on social media. So, you don't want to miss it, and we'll be right back with Cash Me Outside's dad, Ira Peskowitz, right after this awkward drop from Bill Cosby.
5, 4, 3, 2, go.
This is Bill Cosby, and you're
not. No, you're not Bill Cosby.
Oh, you're Bill Cosby.
Yes, I am.
And this is the best radio show.
Good for you.
What?
No, what do you want?
I was wanting you to say you're Bill Cosby, because that in your voice to prove that you've actually been on the show.
Why would they not believe that I was on the show after you played a tape of me?
I guess
help me out.
Other radio shows do this, and we're trying to compete with them by getting a big name.
Well, you have that. You have Bill Cosby, and I am a big name.
Anyway, Bill's a big fan of the show.
Yes, I am.
Right, so he's listening.
And you know why? So far, this is the only program I've listened to. Just the one with me on it.
Right, that's the only one he
why it's my favorite.
So if Bill's listening, you should be too.
And my name is Bill Cosby, and I approve this message.
This is the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio. Do you have a business and are looking for a creative and effective way to market your product or services? Are you an entertainer or recording artist looking for a captive audience to display your talent to? The Domenick Nati Show is now offering on-air commercial advertising for as low as $50. Your product or talent will be presented by celebrity publicist Domenick Nati and be seen on our social media accounts and on iHeartRadio and select stations throughout the country. Send us a message on social media at Dom Nati Show or email DomenickNattyShow@gmail.com for more information. The Domenick Nati Show, maximum exposure, minimum censorship. You're listening to the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio.
Okay, welcome back to the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio in Chicago. I have been telling you about our special guest, and the time has come. Ira Peskowitz is on the phone with us today. Ira, how you doing today?
Great, Domenick. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. If it's okay, I'll just jump into some questions. Now, do you talk to Danielle often, or are you not on speaking terms?
We've actually started talking on the phone for a little while. And what the mother did when she found out we're having communications was, one, she's made complaints to my place of employment, made police reports saying that I'm harassing and threatening my daughter. And then they changed her phone number. And I want to tell you something, Domenick. There's one thing that really, really bugs me about this whole conversation aspect is that on her birthday, her 14th birthday, I called her and we were talking, and then they pulled the phone from her and hung up. You know, all the giggling in the background, all these men in the background. I thought it was a joke. Then later in the night, my 9-year-old wanted to call her and wish her a happy birthday. And the phone rang and it rang. They answered and nobody was speaking. So my son said, like something to the effect of, "Happy birthday, Danielle." And it was quiet. And then all of a sudden the guy got on the phone and said, "She calls me daddy now, not you anymore," and hung up. Not only was that the most disgusting thing that I've ever heard, but now you put my 9-year-old son, who's confused as is of what's going on, and to expose him of your nonsense, Domenick, that was totally uncalled for. Totally uncalled for. And I know who did it, and Danielle even confessed to me and told me who did it. And if you want to deny it, that it was you, it's very, see, these guys they think they're sly. So Domenick, in my 24 years of law enforcement experience, all I need to do is subpoena the phones, their locators are on, and it'll show who was right next to Danielle during that date and time of the that was made, and we have the person that did it. So they could sit and say that they didn't do it. I know your voice, and I know who you are. Who tells a 9-year-old child, who says that to a boy?
Do you think that it was a rapper that did that? Like, because she's hanging out with a lot of them?
No, it was her babysitter, her bodyguard. I call him a babysitter because tell me again, Dominic, why does a 14-year-old need a bodyguard? Really? It's part of a show. You know, it's like if Danielle went to Publix, like to a supermarket by herself, no one would like really pretty much know who she was. But when they do this whole entourage thing, you know, the 6 foot tall, you know, the tattoo, the muscle man, the management team, the call of TMZ, that's what gets the attraction, you know? So like, you know, Dominic, like she's bouncing around LA and Hollywood. You know, there's so many celebrities there. Why all of a sudden are there 8 cameras all over her? Because the management team calls TMZ and they do a little publicity stunt.
TMZ posted an article about you saying that you are no longer paying child support. Is this true? And how much have you been paying in child support per month?
Well, first of all, it's not true. What I wanted to do is I wanted to abate child support. There's a difference between stop paying child support. So for now, for the majority of the 14 years, I've been paying close to $1,100 a month in child support. And I pay so much is because Barbara has manipulated the system and you know, said she couldn't work and she had all this nonsense about her disability. And my thing is this: why am I paying $1,100 a month in child support when she lives in various different Airbnb homes, pranced around Hollywood, all brand new clothing, jewelry? There's pictures of Barbara and her getting these gold grills with diamonds on it, you know, new Nike sneakers, you know, fancy dinners, you know, travels from New York to Atlanta to Miami to LA. What am I paying child support for? You know, there's interesting, Dominic. There's one of the police reports out of the 50 to 60 to 70 times the police went to Barbara's house here in Florida. One of the police reports is that Danielle stole Barbara's designer handbags. One designer handbag was I think $1,300, and then she had a $500 purse. Where is she getting this money from when she's on disability? Explain that to me, Domenick. I mean, explain to me where Barbara got $70,000 to give her ex-boyfriend, who she's suing right now. And why am I paying $1,100 a month? You know, that ex-boyfriend reached out to me, and he said, Ira, every 2 weeks when that check came in for child support, Barbara was happy. It was like a shopping spree. And then what really got to me was he said, Ira, she gave me some of that money for me to pay my own child support. That really bothered me. Why is this money not going to my child? And Domenick, I'm saying this stuff because it's not made up. It's people telling me this stuff. I'm paying so much money in legal fees, $1,100 in child support, and they're making tons of money. You know, it's also interesting because we've been asking for their financials, and they put like a protective order on it, and then we finally got a court order to get it, and they were due on the 26th of last month. They still haven't produced them. And then in between that, you know what they wanted to do? They wanted me to have a gag order that I didn't share Danielle's and Barbara's financials with the media because they're afraid that I'd share with the media. You know what, Domenick? I don't care. I'm not going to share that with the media. That's for me to help me stop paying child support. I have a wife and two children to support as well. So the thing is, look, if the media wants her financials, they've got their attorneys, Domenick. You know that. You guys, you're in the media. You know how to get your public records. You go in there and fight for them. I'm not going to go call up a tabloid and say, hey, look, Danielle's this, Danielle's that. Listen, they don't want me to see it because they don't want me to see who's making money off of her, how much money is being made. And to be honest with you, all these years, her dad has been paying a lot of her bills, and I guarantee you a lot of these contracts and all this stuff, money is being laundered. So that's the thing with TMZ running the fact that, you know, they call me Papa Cash. Really funny. Papa Cash. Maybe I should trademark that and sell t-shirts and pay for my legal fees. I mean, I have a brand of underwear called Papa Cash Underwear. I just came up with an idea to pay for my legal fees. I'll go to an underwear brand and say, hey, I think I sell quite a lot of pair of underwear. Let's work on that after this interview.
Yes,
you and I, we're going to find an underwear brand and you call Papa Cash Underwear.
Papa Cash, right across the back of them. I love it. Danielle's music videos and live videos are very sexual. Do you feel like she's being influenced to be sexual even though she's only 14 years old?
Yes. And they don't care, you know, they don't care if it's 1 million people who despise Danielle. As long as they click on the YouTube video, click on the Instagram, get their messages across, the product placement, the advertisements, the whatever, they don't care. As long as they're getting the traction, Domenick, that's all they care about. You know how horrible it is when I watch some of these comments about these pedophiles? These comments, they say to her what they want to do to her.
Now, when you say they, are you referring to like her management team?
Yes, her management team, absolutely.
It was reported that Danielle's getting $40,000 for an appearance. To your knowledge, is she really receiving that amount for an appearance?
No, and I'll tell you, this is the deal. So Domenick, when she first got out, the whole thing was about her reality show, Bad Babies reality show, and blah blah blah. They probably couldn't get a network or anybody else to sign on it. They would call TMZ. TMZ would do an article, and then 50 other people would feed off of that. Then she had this nonsense of this $40,000 appearance at this rap festival in Miami. It never happened. Then after that, it was her tour. You remember the tour that she was going to go from Fort Lauderdale to somewhere in Texas, I think, and she was going to go on stage and lip sync and make fun of other people. That never happened. So, you know, they say all this stuff for the traction to get people to read articles, to keep this path of destruction alive. And, you know, think about Danielle. Did they tell her that it's going to happen and they never do? I mean, are they giving her a false sense of hope? Or they're just saying, hey, Danielle, we're going to bullshit now, and we're just going to say this so we can get more hits on your stuff. Why do you do that stuff? I mean, $40,000? That's a lot of money. I mean, tell me some other celebrities that ask for that kind of money, and we'll talk parallel of between my daughter and who they are. You know, I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of money. Yeah. Just for meet and greet and to sign some autographs. Well, they threw out one night some event to sign autographs for $5 an autograph. Don't compare her to other celebrities. That's nonsense. These people took advantage of a vulnerable child who needed care. And she didn't get the care, so what did they do? They saw a victim out there and they preyed on her. They preyed on her and they took her. Every one of them I despise.
So basically, $40,000 appearance is a lie, and her having her own reality TV is a lie. Like, those are just made up, like just to get exposure.
Correct.
And then her getting a $90,000 Porsche, is that also untrue?
Yes. Look, she went. I guess they were at a shopping plaza. She leaned against the Porsche, took a picture of it, and all of a sudden now she's buying a $90,000 Porsche.
So is it safe to say that before the world knew Danielle, like Danielle's always been a troubled child?
Domenick, Danielle has been exposed to more things than any other child or human being should never be exposed to. And again, I wish I was the person that was there. I was told by one of her best friends that she stole a car one day to try to come find me.
Now, you mentioned that Danielle's doing music with rapper Kodak Black. Is Kodak Black someone that you want your daughter around?
You give me one name of one father that they want Kodak Black around. Tell me one parent. Kodak Black is a guy who Daniel did the first video on. Then Kodak Black was doing some Instagram live with my daughter. And my daughter said, oh, the boyfriend's coming over. And he said, oh, you're going to put your PUSSY on as you know what. Who talks to a 13, 14-year-old child like that and think it's appropriate? Kodak Black is a convicted felon, violent felon, crimes against children, drugs, guns. And that's who they allow her to associate with, to put his arm around my daughter. NBA YoungBoy arrested for a drive-by double shooting. NBA YoungBoy posts on his Facebook account with a picture of my daughter with a bunch of cash saying, "Catch me outside Pornhub," referring to her as we all know what Pornhub is. You know, those are the people that the management team sets her up with. And don't forget, those are the two same people who are signed with the same record company as my daughter. You know, Domenick, I want her to do well. If she's singing, not getting in trouble, I want her to do well. You know, she could sing about me, but sing about the truth.
I mean, in her song with Kodak Black, Danielle says, "My daddy ain't buying it. He left me private and then tried to come back when he's seen I was shining, but fuck him." Like, how did hearing that make you feel? And are you truly trying to be in Danielle's life now that she's shining?
Number one, I don't want any of Danielle's money, and I said it before. That money is like drug money. That's like terrorist money. That is dirty money, period. Barbara tried 3 times to get Danielle on Dr. Phil, and she got it. And who would expose their child like that to the world? I mean, I'm watching it. I'm a father. I'm like, this behavior is atrocious, and you're sharing it with the world.
Do you believe that Danielle has talent as a recording artist?
How about this? Do I think that Milli Vanilli was awesome? You saw what happened to Milli Vanilli. Don't just all of a sudden have TMZ write an article. Oh, she just signed a record deal with Touch and Touch record company. I want to listen to the words, to the rapping before the music and the digital enhancement is done. And then I want to say that.
So basically, she never showed any interest or talent like in singing and rapping, and now they're just digitally enhancing her to sound better. Is that pretty much? Is that accurate?
Right. She's never. If you watch some of the videos, she's got so many. She's tried to sing. It wasn't to a point where it was part of getting a record deal. But I think they worked so hard on getting her something so they could call her something, because every other venture, like we talked about, failed. Every parent should see that first stroke of the piano key, the first, a cappella, the first, oh my God, daddy, look how I'm progressing. Not all of a sudden, bam, I got a record deal. I mean, really, she hasn't practiced singing all of her life.
Yeah.
Bam, I got a record deal. That's like me going to, I'm going to go to the Miami Dolphins tryouts, and I'm going to try out to be a quarterback. And next week, guess what? On Sunday, Domenick, I'm starting as a quarterback. Because I am Papa Cash, and they're going to sell 1 million tickets to the game because everybody wants to see Papa Cash. They don't care how I can throw the football. They don't care if I get it in the end zone. That's the mentality. Doesn't matter the quality of talent. It's the matter of attraction and how many people click on and watch. But Danielle, I just want to let you know, I love you, Danielle, and I want you to do well. I really want you to do well. But I want to be part of it, and I want to give you some guidance. That's all I'm asking. So, Domenick, I'm not trying to say that that this is all a bunch of hype made up. I think a majority of it is, but I want her to do better. I want her to go out and get lessons. Like I think she did one. I think her management team was able to set up one piano lesson with this producer who produced some of these things. And me and Danielle talked about that once on the phone. She goes, "Daddy, aren't you proud of me that I went to a music lesson?" I said, "A music lesson," and they did it for a publicity stunt. So think about those millions of people who've focused their whole entire life to get that opportunity that my daughter has gotten, and the doors have been shut in their face. These are all good people. Those are people who thrive, who've all their hard-earned money, who sleep in a studio, who might be homeless, who are thriving for the opportunity for someone just to listen to their music or their instrument playing. And I ask two things of these supporters out there. One, don't trash my daughter on social media, with those harsh comments of wanting to kill herself and all that kind of stuff. And if anybody sees things about these pedophiles doing this stuff, please comment and try to protect her, because I can't. And if I do, and that person doesn't like it, what do? They call my place of employment, Internal Affairs, and makes a complaint about me. So everybody else can go out there and help me protect my daughter.
Well, Ira, I really appreciate your transparency, and I really wanted to give you a chance to speak and hear your side, and I'm really grateful that you did. And again, I appreciate you so much for being on the show today.
All right, thanks, Domenick. Speak to you soon.
Okay. Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons. Of course, you're listening to the Domenick Nati Show, but what else is new?
This is the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio. Do you have a business and are looking for a creative and effective way to market your product or services? Are you an entertainer or recording artist looking for a captive audience to display your talent to? The Domenick Nati Show is now offering on-air commercial advertising for as low as $50. Your product or talent will be presented by celebrity publicist Domenick Nati and be seen on our social media accounts and on iHeartRadio and select stations throughout the country. Send us a message on social media at Dom Nati Show or email DomenickNatiShow@gmail.com for more information. The Domenick Nati Show, maximum exposure, minimum censorship. You're listening to the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio.
And we're back. Domenick Nati Show, Intellectual Radio, iHeartRadio. That was our exclusive interview with Ira Peskowitz, the father of Cash Me Outside girl Danielle Bregoli. I thought that was pretty enlightening. I hope you did too. I want to thank all the press that has been covering this exclusive interview. And, I really hope we can help him out, because he wanted to get a message across of the people and also the pedophiles. Cash Me Outside is only 14. Yes, she turned 14 this year. I mean, she was 13 last year when she was on Dr. Phil. She is young. I realize she looks older, but she's not. So imagine having a 14-year-old daughter and all these guys talking very sexual to her, who he is calling pedophiles. So that's what the statement was at the end of the interview, where he's asking everyone to please help him by flagging those comments, and I hope you will. Next week's guest as of now is from Shark Tank, Barbara Cochran. You know Barbara from Shark Tank. She was also shortly on Dancing with the Stars. I don't know if dancing's really her thing, but she gave it a shot, and she is going to tell us all about it next week as Season 2 has officially begun today. Yes, this is the 1-year anniversary of our show, thus starting Season 2. Thank you all for being such great supporters. 500,000 views on YouTube alone, and all the press that has covered us throughout the year. Thank you. Season 2 is going to be even better. So we will see you next Friday on the Domenick Nati Show. We'll see you next week.